In honor of Charlie Kirk, today I want to discuss a clip of Charlie from a few months ago during a talk he gave about modern dating. Now, in this clip, he's speaking specifically to young men, so let's work through the clip and talk about why Charlie is spot on. Here's what he said.
Men, let's be honest, we got to raise our game in this culture. We are constantly around one. They say, oh, just go place another bet on this running back to run 100 yards. Just go to the cannabis dispensary and medicate yourself. That's all a bunch of BS. Go look to your grandfather's generation that stormed Normandy Beach, that built this nation, that started big businesses, that went on adventure. If the most important thing for you is just feeling good, you're going to end up miserable. But if the most important thing is doing good, you will end up purposeful. Purpose will give you happiness.
100% true. Happiness is not feeling good. The more you focus on trying to feel happy, the less happy you will be. Happiness is a byproduct of consistently making certain kinds of choices that, as Charlie noted, are linked to a purpose beyond yourself, a purpose beyond a feeling. Feelings are fleeting, right? They come and go. If your foundation for life, if your primary drive in life is just chasing a certain feeling, you're going to end up miserable, right? If you're just chasing a feeling like pleasure, a sensation like pleasure, you are going to end up miserable. Fellow guys especially, we do not have to wait until we're married in order to live responsible and purposeful lives. Okay, if we think that we can live these totally self-centered lives with no real direction, not really accomplishing anything, not really striving after anything, not striving to be great, and then magically transform into responsible adults, responsible men who can lead our families the moment we get married. If that's what we think, then we are delusional. It doesn't work like that. None of it works like that. No, we are supposed to be in a period of training right now. All of you who are unmarried, and especially those of you who are single, we're supposed to be training right now. We're supposed to be training in order to one day become the greatest husbands and fathers we can possibly be. To broaden it, regardless of whether you're called to marriage or priesthood or, religious life or anything like that, man or woman, you're called to be training for your mission. You're called to be training for your mission. All right, let's keep listening.
You see, we live in a country where they think that purpose, where they think that happiness is pleasure. We know that purpose is above all of this. Serving God, understanding why we are here, that we are made in His image, that there is a struggle of good versus evil. By the way, you're involved in that struggle every single day on the college campuses. Every day you get to fight for what is good and what is true and beautiful. So next time when you're on a college campus, and if you want to be a man, this is what you do. If you want to stay a boy, go and do what your other friends do. But men say, you know what? No, I'm actually not going to go hook up with a bunch of girls. I'm going to save myself for marriage. Actually, I'm not going to go do that. But if you want to go be a boy, go do that. It takes no skill and no talent and no self-restraint whatsoever just to follow your flesh. An animal can do that. A dog can do that. Do you know what mature people do? Mature people say no to what feels good and they pursue what is good. And far too often on college campuses, we have these grown boys. And I'm talking to a lot of you in this audience, and it's time for you guys to up your game. It's time for you guys to stop doing just what feels good all the time. Oh yeah, we're just gonna go get, blackout drunk till 2 a.m. and hook up with some stranger. No. If you wanna stay in the lower standard, a miserable cycle of debt and suffering and depression, lack of community, go do that. Instead, on a Saturday night, say, you know what? I'm gonna hang out with some friends that are not gonna drink, are not gonna, engage with this stuff. And then maybe on Sunday morning, I'm going to go to church or I'm going to go to mass and then I'm going to go work out and then I'm going to study. Who will be happier? You know I'm right.
Yes, it's so time for us to up our game. It seems to me that a lot more people are now waking up to the fact that, there's a real war going on between good and evil. And it's not just some vague reality out there that, doesn't really affect us, that has little or no importance in our own lives. No, it's very real, and it affects every single aspect of your life. Nothing could possibly be more important or more urgent, right? It's urgent, this war between good and evil, and it's urgent in our own lives. So, the choice that is in front of all of us, that's in front of all of us guys, who I'm especially making this video for, Are we going to be boys or are we going to be men? You just heard it from Charlie, and we all know it's true, right? It takes no skill. Just like Charlie said, it takes no skill, no talent, no effort or self-restraint to follow your flesh. And we've all been there, right? We all know what it's like to do that because we're all sinners. And we live in a culture that tells us to follow our flesh, right? We live in a culture that will mock us for trying to rise above that. But we all know that what Charlie said is spot on. It's totally true. Every time we choose the flesh, we're left unhappy. We're left full of regret. We're left numb, depressed. It never works. This strategy of trying to extract happiness out of living for the flesh, living for our passions, it's never worked, but we keep trying it. You know, people will insist that they are happy living for the flesh. And what's funny is the people who are like this, they're always the most determined to ensure that everyone around them knows how happy they are, right? They have to beat you over the head with their lifestyle, insisting that they're, the happiest people alive, and they explode in anger anytime anyone tries to suggest that they alter their life to any degree whatsoever. So that should kind of tell you everything you need to know about how happy those people really are. Everyone has tried this strategy of living for the flesh. Everyone has tried this strategy a bazillion times throughout human history, and it hasn't worked even once. It has never worked. But we all just keep trying it like a bunch of insane people, and it's because we're fallen. It's because we live in a broken world, and on our own, we are helpless. But by the incredible mercy and grace of God, there is another path. You don't have to live like this. We don't have to live like this. You know that's true. Like, we don't have to choose to live this way. Even if all of our peers are, even if there's all of this pressure from our culture to live these self-centered, destructive, empty lives, we actually don't have to choose that path. You don't have to be a boy, right? Even if all of your friends are choosing to be, you could be the man, right? You could be the one who leads by example to your friends and family. Just think about that. Really imagine that. If you were the one who inspired others to not just live for themselves, right? You could be the one who takes up your own cross daily and follows after Christ, thereby inspiring others to do the same. Right? You could be the one who responds to God's call, who knows his love for you and falls in love with the Lord, and so is truly free and is truly happy. You could be great. Right? Here's the truth. God wants so much more for us than we want for ourselves. Almost all of us settle for mediocrity, not just like in our day-to-day, sort of material, physical lives as we go about our day. We do, but that's really because of a deeper spiritual reality. So many of us settle for spiritual mediocrity, and we just live these sort of mediocre, bland lives. But we're not called to that. We're called to greatness. The saints are those who recognize God's infinite love for them and surrender everything to that God in radical trust, going wherever God leads them, wherever God calls them, going all the way to martyrdom in many cases. And that's the real adventure. That's true joy. That's true happiness. It's not about feeling good, but it's about, as Charlie said, doing good. So the choice is yours, right? The choice is all of ours. Will we be boys or will we be men? It's a choice that we make in everything we do, right? In every decision that we make, we have these two options. So we can live for ourselves in the flesh, or we can say to the Lord with the prophet Isaiah, "Here am I, send me." Well, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, share with someone, all that good stuff. And I'll see you next time. God bless.